Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're going to look at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, and the USO. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Let's get right into the charts. On the daily SPY, they closed at 4 cents below the 20 MA. Just like magic. At the end of the day, they're conditioning everybody, because at the end of the day, if you buy at 2 o'clock or 2:30, 3 o'clock, the markets always go up. It never fails until it does. And then what they're going to do, they're going to sell it and sell it and sell it and just keep selling it in your face. That's what these guys do. They are conditioning everybody to buy the dip. It's never going to fail. Until it does, then we're going to fast track down, and this thing's just going to rip your eyes out. Just like here, let me just do a quick one. Just like this, Dollar General. It's brutal. You have, in 3 trading days, you wiped out 5 months of gains. That's exactly what's going to happen here on the SPY, I promise you. But anyways, I'm a little bit excited today, if you can't tell. But technically, same thing. I should just do a recording like Janet Yellen. We're waiting on data, and this one is we're above the moving averages, so still in a strong stance, blah, 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 even though it's moving up on no volume. This is just a complacent market on no volume. I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but I wouldn't be surprised on Friday. We have a better than expected jobs report, and they try to pop it up and get it to the 220 area and possibly higher. That's the only way they can get these markets up. Just like here. Does nothing for a month. Jobs report, they pop it up. Does nothing for a month. These patterns, if they play out for months and they don't move up, this is going to end bad. A bullish pattern at all-time highs that fails will result in fast tracking down to the downside, period. Until we get above 220, 225 area, I don't believe this market has rallied. We're running long in the tooth at this point. There's nothing left. Weekly chart, another umbrella top. We're slowly bleeding. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of in the same range. It's pathetic. We have a little doji spinner. This one we'll see it on Friday where it closes. Bullish, you need to close above 220 with some follow through. Bearish, it needs to get below this pivot. I would like to see it below this pivot around 216.16. Then ultimately down into here 214. That was that fake print that's still in play. Then the 20 MAs at 211.59. If this thing starts cracking, we're going into this area here around 210.87. And then, and then boom, right around 285, and then ultimately the 198.69 area. And then you have this trend line here, which goes all the way back. That's a big one. So that's what's been holding this thing, and never got below, never confirmed, always popped above. So we have great resistance around 198.69. If you wanted to take a call or something for a day or two, you probably could, but we're going to see if this thing does start to fall, how it reacts. If it's just one big red candle like Dollar General, or if it's a slow stepping process to a bearish pattern, and just kind of steps down as it goes, which is great, because if it comes in, if you're not short, retraces, we short on the retrace and we take it down. Like I said, bulls, it needs to get above here, and it damn well needs more volume here, because this is just flipping pathetic to move up. And if it moves up, you know what, just write some puts and pocket the premium. How about that? Then on the monthly, same thing. We'll see where we close tomorrow. Looks like they'll capture this big green candle. But again, then I want to see another capture of this candle and some follow through and more volume. That's the problem here. Let's go into the IWM. This is the other thing I keep preaching about. The IWM should be leading the markets, and it's not. Again, we're just floating up on a light volume float, and really there's no conviction. And everyone's getting more bullish, CNBC, and it's just not the truth, in my opinion. This thing should be leading. It is lagging. Here's the all-time high, which is up around 128, 129. If the SPY and everything else is hitting all-time highs, this thing should be at least at 135, 140, and it's not. It keeps running into this resistance up into the 123.57 area. This is the weekly, and we have a little tail here. We're going to know more at the end of the week. Are they going to pop it on the good jobs report? Is the jobs report going to be so crappy that we just start selling off? And remember, these patterns up at the tops, if they fail, we're going to get the elevator down. Remember, staircase up, elevator down. And everyone's, what do I do? What do I do? And then all the bulls on CNBC, how low can the markets go? Right now it's how high can they go? When this thing starts to crater, they're going to freak everybody out like this one. They were, oh my gosh, it's going to go. If this area cracks, we're going downtown. And all of a sudden, boom in your face, and they kill all the shorts. Anyone who bought puts up here got demolished, or puts down here got demolished. It's the same old story. The Federal Reserve, Yellen, Bernanke, they hate shorts. That's their life mission, to squeeze us out. So, but it's my life's mission to find out the good areas to short these markets to make some money. So let's get into the monthly. Same thing. We're back into the 123.43. Still not at all-time highs. Still 7 months up into this area, into this trend line that goes back into this area here, connects the highs, and then we'll see if we could get above that. Till then, I don't think these markets are going too much higher. Well, again, on news. That's the only thing that's driving these markets is news. Qs, daily, same thing. We got above, let's see, well, wait a minute here. I haven't looked at this stuff yet. So we do have an inside bar bearish pattern. Love this. At tops, even better. So it is. This Friday's jobs report is going to determine this whole market. If it's a bad report, which is still good because then the free money policy will continue, but this is a bear setup. We did close below the 20 moving average on the Qs. And remember, the money banks, the big institutional money is net short the Qs. They're net short everything at this point, so you have to keep that in mind. Wow, I like this, but this is starting to set up. And if you watch my videos, I've been talking about this inside bar. Weekly, again, just like the IWM. If they don't get it above this 118.78 and confirmation and more volume and conviction, this is slowly making an umbrella top. This is perfect. So the only way they can get this up on the news on Friday, just like they did a month ago. The best jobs report ever. This is so great. So monthly chart, same thing. If we close above the 115.90 on tomorrow, relatively strong, but look at the volume, pathetic. I want to see a big green candle like this to push this thing up and let's get this thing going. If we don't recapture like the 120 area, no. We got to get above 118.78 and confirm. If we close above these highs and this candle, yeah, it's one step of the process, but I want to see some follow through and get above the all-time high 118.78 on a monthly close basis. But until then, I'm watching this pattern. Not bad for a bullish pattern, but we just recaptured underneath the 20 MA. They need to pop it up. We retraced into the 750, chopping around, tried to get it above, came back in. Now we're below the 618. Let's see what we can do with this. Wow, it's funny. We're going to run right into Friday with a good setup, even with counting the days going into Friday too. It'll actually be 8 days sideways in a micro bearish manner. That's telling me we're setting up to go down. So they need to pop this thing up if they want to save this, the Qs that is. Let's go into the DIA. DIA was down 32 cents. Again, we're still below the 20 MA. Still slightly bullish. I mean, they're holding this thing up above the moving averages. This is on the daily chart. Still not bad. You know, we're still below here, but that tells me we're setting up possibly to go lower. If we stay below the 20, then we're looking to capture the 50 and get below that, and then I think we're on for the selling. Weekly, not bad, bullish pattern, but again, we popped it up here. They couldn't pop it through and keep it above, came back down. Now we have an inside bar bearish pattern. So it's a macro bull, micro bear. We're looking at staying above this high at 183.17. If it closes anywhere by this blue line, 182.80, which is the 250 retrace, then we'll probably get down to this pivot here at 182.30, and then we're coming down to gap fill, and then we'll slowly staircase down. We'll wait for setup to see if this thing could possibly go lower. This is a weekly chart, so we have to wait till Friday's close. If we close below this area, 182.80, 182, then I'm thinking we're going down. They need to get it above the highs, the 186.87 area, and get some volume and some follow through. But again, this is the weekly. We'll find out on the Friday's close. And this one here, we did pop above the all-time high. They held it. Now we have a little bit of a doji on the monthly. That's telling me a possible reversal signal. Again, going up on no volume. I want to see more conviction. And this is the Dow. We don't really follow this one, but I've been asked to do this. So I'm including it in my daily report here. The IYT, another lagging indicator. I've been barking about this one for weeks too. This should be at the highs, not even close. I mean, it was strong today, but if you look at the actual Dow Jones transports, we need to capture 8,000 again. Not happening yet. Till we get above 8,000 and confirm, it's not going anywhere. But we do have a big trend line. We have resistance. We're in between an area. So at this point, it's holding strong and really doing nothing. They did close it below the 20 MA on the daily. It did pop back up until we recapture the 143 area. You know, I mean, it's just chopping around. But technically, we're above the MA, so it is slightly bullish. Until we get down below these, then I'm thinking we're going to go downtown. If we need more upside, or if you're looking for more upside, 144.41, we got to get above with confirmation. And then I believe we can move up a little bit more from there. This, though, on the weekly, this isn't a bad bullish pattern. We're above the MAs. We're above the resistance. We're above all the Fibonacci levels. So this is not bad. But again, 7 weeks or 8 weeks of consolidation, this thing better start popping, which it did today. It was up 89 cents. Let's giddy up here. Needs to get above the 145, actually 146 area. Until then, it needs to stay above the moving averages. If you're bearish, if it gets below the 20 and the 50, I think we're going to start heading down. Still is a trend line down in here around 130.91. So either way, great support, good resistance coming up. You still have resistance around the 150 area around here. So either way, it's a 50-50 shot on this one. But if this pattern fails, we're going down. Monthly, we need to recapture, if you're bullish, above the 20 and this Fibonacci level, the 750. We need to capture this on a monthly basis and then continue up with more volume. If we don't recapture and this thing starts to reverse, then we're looking at support down in here around the 130 area. If this cracks, we're going to fast track down to this little pivot here around 126, then possibly fill or get down into the 118.62, and then of course double bottom in here. But that, we're still waiting for pattern, waiting for setup. Weekly chart looks, everything's fine with this one, but if these patterns start to fail and the SPY and everything else starts to dump, which we're right in that time frame where anything's possible in these markets, people. So let's get into the USO here. USO was down 12 cents. Still, we're in a bearish inside bar, and now it's starting to break down. We have a lot of support in this area. We're using the fib from here to here. So we're in the 382. It closed below the 5.0 moving average, but you have the 200 and the 20 curling up. If this continues down and if this does not hold, we are going lower on the USO. This here, this little, what do they call it, cross or death cross, I don't even know what they cross, but if these things overlap, this thing should send this stock up or oil up, period. If this doesn't, we're going to go down. Weekly chart, I've been talking about these MAs. We went right up into it, 3-bar surge into the 50 MA, into this high pivot. This is where it started breaking down, so you have a lot of sellers coming in here just taking their money at break even. Never stayed above the 50 and the 20, and here we go again. Now we're watching for a close below the 1075 level, which we did today, but this is a weekly close. Ultimately, though, I want to see it close below the 1056, and I think we're on for some more downside. We're definitely coming into this trend line around 955, but you're going to have support around 10 bucks as well. But this, let me tell you, if this inside bar fails and we get below this, we're going straight down. Monthly, still a bearish pattern. We had an inside bar here, but overall down sideways. So you're in a bigger bearish pattern, but then you have a micro bearish pattern starting. We're still below the MAs. We still can't get above the 5.0 retrace. And ultimately you have the 618 retrace, which is the big one up here at 1384. But one step at a time, we still need to close above this inside bar candle, and then ultimately 1242. All right, guys, that's it for me today. If you have any questions or comments, please send me an email at stockbookie@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.